Maryland officials make an announcement on the future of the Purple Line. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Makia Turner.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us. Well, some big news tonight about the future of the Purple Line. Governor Martin O'Malley says the state will contribute $400 million toward construction. In a much anticipated announcement, the governor also says he's looking for a private partner for the project. Denise Douglas has the story from Bethesda.
So we are here today at the future home of Maryland's Purple Line here in Bethesda, Maryland. And the Purple Line.
As supporters cheered Governor Martin O'Malley's announcement about the Purple Line, protesters booed.
Save the trail!
Deborah Vollmer and several dozen others held signs and surrounded today's press conference, often interrupting.
The thing is, it's important to save that bit of nature for people who love to hike and to bike. You see people with little kids in strollers, you see people on bicycles, you see hikers such as myself.
The governor ignored the yelling as he explained that $400 million from the state would go to fund the much anticipated light rail line. It will be Maryland's first public-private partnership for a transit project.
Projects that will ease traffic congestion and give moms and dads more time to be at home and more time to be at work and be with their families. Projects that will make this area even more desirable.
The train will run from Bethesda to New Carrollton. Prince George's County Executive Rashawn Baker says he looks forward to the economic boost it will bring to the area.
This is about jobs and economic development for both of the great regions of Maryland, Prince George's County and Montgomery County. We understand without transit and this type of development, neither one of our counties can grow.
Still, those rallying want to save the Capitol Crescent Trail and are hoping officials look for another route for the Purple Line.
Really, years ago, the planners should have either decided to put it somewhere else or put it underground. But to put the trail on the surface where that park is, it's just a travesty.
In addition to state funding, the federal government is also expected to chip in $900 million to the construction of the Purple Line. Local governments as well as the private sector are expected also to contribute to the project, which is slated to begin construction in early 2015. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
And Governor O'Malley also announced that $1 billion will be invested for transportation projects in Montgomery County.
A new summer crime strategy is underway in Prince George's that aims to take down illegal weapon trafficking. Prince George's Police says additional tactical teams and investigative units will hit the streets as part of Follow the Firearms. Rochelle Metzger is at police headquarters with more.
Prince George's police say violent crime in the county is down, but they're still working to get guns off the streets. And they have a new crime-fighting strategy that aims not just to get the person who pulled the trigger, but the supplier who brought the weapons here in the first place.
Well, the reality is that they're coming from all the points of the compass.
Prince George's police say every gun they seize has a story, and tracing that storyline to the beginning will tell them where the weapon came from, how it got there, and how it was used.
Our streets will be flooded with additional officers and investigative units. Once those teams bring in illegal guns, another team will zero in on each weapon's unique characteristics, and then other members of our department will track down the traffickers.
The police department says they've seen a steady decline in overall crime, violent and property crime, and auto thefts over the past 3 years. Now the agency is launching a new initiative, Follow the Firearm, which they say goes beyond gun registries and gun buyback programs. Today at a press conference, officials detailed the 3-step approach.
First is the supply end, if you will, where our undercover and uniformed officers will be working in specific areas driven by data to seize firearms that are on our streets right now. It then moves to the investigation phase, where our officers, in conjunction with the ATF agents, will be building cases against those traffickers, and beginning 90 days from now, as a result of these investigations, we'll be conducting prosecutions on traffickers in Prince George's County.
Police say while their efforts to seize weapons will be countywide, there will be a special focus on communities inside the Beltway. Reporting from Palmer Park, I'm Rochelle Metzger, CTV News.
According to statistics provided by the department, violent crime is down 16.5% over the same time last year, and year-to-date overall crime is down nearly 13%, and property crime is down 12%.
Maryland's Attorney General proposes re-entry reforms for ex-offenders to help reduce recidivism rates and make their transition back into the community easier. Doug Gansler held a forum today in Baltimore to discuss ways to help former prisoners gain employment, housing, and health care. The event focused on ideas like work training programs and tax credit incentives that will foster successful transitions back into society. In Maryland, re-entry fails nearly 50% of the time. Gansler wants to establish a Deputy Secretary of Public Safety who would be in charge of re-entry, create special intake centers and courts, and provide transitional housing for ex-offenders. The Deputy Secretary would also coordinate efforts between the faith-based community and the state to maximize support programs and resources. A pedestrian is fatally struck around 1 this morning at the intersection of Suitland Road and Suitland Parkway. Investigators say that 45-year-old Donald Prey of Capitol Heights was driving on Suitland Road when he and a passenger reportedly got into an argument. For some unknown reason, Prey stopped the car, got out, and laid down in the roadway. He was then hit by another vehicle. Officers found the man suffering from critical injuries. He was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Prey had reportedly been drinking alcohol before the collision.
About 400 residents in the Laurel area spend hours without water today. This after a small leak in an underground pipe. The Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission sent a crew to the 9800 block of Snowden and Mount Pleasant roads. About 10:30 this morning, a spokesperson says a steel part that holds the pipe in place popped from corrosion, which caused the pipe to leak.
Essentially, a saddle over a 16-inch PGCTV pipe began leaking, and they essentially have to go down and replace it. The saddle is held in place by a couple of steel bands that go around and hold nice and tight.
Service was restored about 2:30 this afternoon.